So, Matilda. Published in 1988 and written by Roald Dahl. It is an enchanting story, filled with Roald Dahl's traditional whimsy and darkness. Considered by many to be one of Roald Dahl's most popular stories, in part thanks to the 1996 movie adaptation directed by Danny DeVito. Anyway, we're going to be getting into the nitty-gritty, and I will warn you beforehand that there are going to be spoilers. Now, let's get on with it and start off with the characters. So yes, there's quite a large cast in this short story, well, somewhat short. And our main protagonist, who is the title character, is Matilda Wormwood, a young girl who is a genius, an underappreciated genius. And I really enjoyed her. She was so fun to follow, because usually with Roald Dahl protagonists, they can be, a little bland, but that's so the reader can insert themselves in their space, in their place, sorry. But Matilda has got quite a bit of personality. She's hot-headed, she's got a strong sense of justice, and a strong sense of loyalty. And she's not afraid of getting into an argument with anyone, when she's being accused of something she didn't do. And it's really admirable. As a matter of fact, I would say this is a good example of a strong female protagonist, where anyone can look up to her, So yeah, she's really good. The other characters, you got Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood, her parents. You got Miss Trunchbull, the headmistress. You got the dainty Miss Honey. They are all incredible characters. Yeah, they're, well, Miss Trunchbull and Mr. Wormwood especially, quite cartoonish, but in a good way, because it emphasizes how cruel they are, how sleazy they are, especially the dad. That word applies to him mostly. Roald Dahl really knew how to write characters, and he knew how to write characters that you just end up hating. And that's what you're meant to do with Mr. Wormwood and Miss Trunchbull especially. Personally, Mrs. Wormwood, she was a bit, here and there. There were times when it seemed like she did care about Matilda, but not care as much as a mother really should. Like there was one time when Matilda was, she had collapsed from lack of energy on her bed, and her mum did check up on her just to see what was up. Not that she cared too much, but the fact is, she did check. So that was pretty cool. You got the little kids at the school. They're just brilliant. You got, I've forgotten the names, but you got the kid who, the kid who ate the chocolate cake. You got Matilda's best friend Lavender. She's the one who put the newt in Miss Trunchbull's water. And you got the older girl who, Matilda and Lavender kind of admired because she played pranks on Miss Trunchbull. And, it's this little thing. Because when you get an older kid who's just, sharing their wisdom with you, especially, you just get kind of hyped up and you get caught in Matilda's feelings there. It's brilliant. So yeah, all the characters are fine, written well. And Miss Honey, God, this whole story, you just feel sorry for her. You just feel so bad for her. She lives in an awful shack. That's the rent is 10 pence a week, which would be 23 pence a week, adjusted for inflation right now. Yeah, so honestly, because she is beaten down more than Matilda. And that's the darkness that Roald Dahl brings to his stories sometimes. How sort of real it can feel. And it makes them more relatable, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, and being a Roald Dahl story, it has got themes. One of the themes is familial ties. So you see, Matilda, blood related to the Wormwoods, obviously. Miss Honey is related to Miss Trunchbull. You can't choose your family, can you? Or can you? Because despite being connected as family, you don't need to be with them, which the end of the story shows. Matilda's family flee because they're being chased by the police. Matilda stays with Miss Honey, who gets a house back from Miss Trunchbull with Matilda's help. And it's sort of that it's kind of going back on that blood is thicker than water thing, you know, going against it, which is always fine to see. Because I don't like that thing where, oh, you know, he's your family, you've got, or she's your family, you got to learn to love them. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I'm glad they actually incorporated that in this story. And then you have got loyalty. That is another theme. Because Matilda, obviously being, you know, for such a little girl, being downtrodden by her family, you know, she had no one on her side, well, apart from the librarian. But anyway, she goes to school. She makes friends. And because she has friends for the first time, she is going to do everything she can to make sure nothing happens to them. She takes the blame for Lavender putting the newt in Miss Trunchbull's water. She gets rid of Miss Trunchbull with her psychic powers so that Miss Honey can get her house back. Just because those two treated her so nicely. Maybe if Lavender was a bully to her, you know, Matilda would have been like, it's her who put the newt in your water. Or if Miss Honey was just a mini Miss Trunchbull, she's not helping her, you know? Well, Miss Honey wouldn't have taken her to her shack, so Matilda would have never seen how she lived anyway. But yeah, loyalty. Matilda is so loyal, honestly. And we got a traditional Roald Dahl theme being old versus young, you know, adult versus children. And these are my favourite parts of, you know, sort of Roald Dahl stories, you know, you got... Because if you read Roald Dahl's autobiographies, Boy and Going Solo, especially Boy, you can see how much influence it has. Because in his school days, the adults were seen as these, how he describes it, seen as these sort of monsters. And it's brought into the story, because when you're a kid, don't adults seem really, really scary? Because it's kind of like, they know everything, and they're bigger than you. You can't do anything against them. Well, in this case, you can, if you're Matilda. And yeah, it shows that even if you didn't have the psychic powers, you would not have to take any rubbish from them, would you? So yeah. Yeah, it's a good story. I love Roald Dahl's prose, how he describes things. It's written from a sort of omniscient POV, which is, in my opinion, the best narrative, the best form of POV. Well, I suppose it depends. Because if you do it in a fantasy story, where all your characters already live in the world, then yeah, it works really well. Sort of like a Discworld sort of thing, you know? But yeah, written really well. Obviously, there was the movie adaptation, like I mentioned. That was actually really, really good. It's everything an adaptation should be. Had everything that was in the story. I mean, minus one prank she played on her father. And it added things that really added to the story. Because in the book, the father's not really seen bar one scene in the middle, from the beginning till the end. Because all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we gotta go to Spain. The cops are on our tail. And in the movie, they sort of built it up with the FBI tracking them and Matilda using her powers to kind of mess with them, you know? But yeah, the movie was good. But really do recommend. I really do recommend this book. I really, really do. Always check the original source of anything. That's what I feel should be done. Doesn't matter if you don't like books. Always check it out. It can show you so much more. So yeah, Matilda, a brilliant Roald Dahl book. Well, all of Roald Dahl's books are brilliant. And yeah, I kind of waffled on a little bit at some points. I know that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.